Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kaz and I'm a channeler and a healer. In today's video we are asking the question, what lesson am I currently learning? I have 3 crystals to choose from today. Crystal 1, I don't know what this is, but it's got these amazing green inclusions. Crystal 2 is a cobalt calcite. And I don't know what crystal 3 is. A lovely friend gave me these crystals, so it's very silvery but almost with a lavender hue. So you can go ahead and choose one of the crystals. The timestamps for your group will be in the video chapters and also in the description below if you'd like to scroll directly to that. I'll see you there. Crystal 1, welcome to your reading. I am just going to pick up your crystal and channel through it to see what lesson you are currently learning. Okay, I'm hearing the term observance. So I feel that at this point in your life, it's time to observe things and to see patterns and how things are working. So I feel like you have done a lot of growth in your life and you have worked on certain things, but at this point in time it's time to step back and just look at things. Have a look at what patterns are reoccurring in your life, what things are impeding your progress from where you are to where you want to be, because there's going to be things there that you can fine-tune down so that you can pull it out or pluck it out. They're showing me like plucking eyebrows so that you can actually pluck out what doesn't need to be there. So it is a time for observance of yourself and also your outer world. Whatever is happening within you is happening outside of you too, because the world is our mirror. And as the saying goes, as within, so without. So if you are seeing a lot of people around you with, let's say, relationship problems, it's time to have a look at yourself and say, what patterns are they mirroring back to me? Sometimes when we have maybe friends or neighbours or colleagues going through a certain something, if you haven't already been through it before, it's because you're the observer. You're looking at them going, right, is this something I need to address within myself as well? Because we often hide things deep in our subconscious and we're not always readily aware of them. If we are aware of them, we can heal them. So Spirit is telling me that there is some observance and investigation within yourself to go here. And it may be that you have a certain goal in mind, but maybe there's some self-sabotage or things keep interrupting your pursuit of the goal, or life just keeps on happening and you can't seem to get a grip on where you want to be. And the universe is saying that's because there's still a few little nuggets of belief that need to be pulled out. And it's not your fault. They don't want you to start blaming yourself, think, oh, not again, I've done so much work, oh my goodness, you know, I just can't get ahead here. It's just because things are lightening up now, and things that we are not meant to take into the new energy need to stay behind. And so you may have up to this point worked perfectly well with what you had and what's going on, and managed to let go of some things and moved on from certain things. But there's a few, I'm feeling for most people, 3 little things left that just need to go to move you into much higher energy, where you can manifest much faster and you can actually attract what you want. It's like your energy then becomes a beacon for what you want and things just flow to you. It's about being in the flow. So this is a time of observance for you. And I keep coming back, it's time to observe what's happening around you. If you're noticing patterns of behaviour in people, or you're noticing patterns of maybe even health issues or things cropping up in other people's lives, it's time to start taking notice. Now, when I was working as a nurse, we always would notice that things would come in runs of threes. So I worked on a ward that didn't specialise in eye problems, but we would have 3 people admitted very close together with eye issues. So those are the sorts of things that stand out that are unusual. Have a look at those, because they're going to give you clues to what you just need to let go of, or what you need to reframe. Now, it's not that easy to let go of things, but with the higher energy, and given the higher energy that we're coming into, it is going to be quicker to let go of things. So this is a time of high vibrational energy. It's a time to nab it. It's a time to use it for what you want, and to really just tell your spirit team, bring me the tools to release this, and you will get what you need as far as that goes to help you move past this point, because it's almost like you are at a stalemate here, and it's time to move on from that. I'm getting, for some of you, this may be childhood beliefs of your parents, and you don't think that you actually carry those anymore, but it's almost like the vibration is still there. And, you know, our parents are a totally different generation to us. So, and they were brought up with their parents' beliefs, and so on and so forth. So even though we may not think we have it, we may be vibrating with it. So let's just say that one of your parents felt that money was hard to come by. So you may still be vibrating with that belief that money is hard to come by. Even if you don't consciously feel that way, it may be subconsciously buried. Yeah, and they're actually saying observe your family as well. If you know your family, if you're still in close contact with your family, observe what your family are up to now. Are they thriving? Are they surviving? You know, what's going on there? Because then some of those familial habits might need to be addressed here. And also close friends. If your friends are struggling, you're also vibrating at that level too. So what are you struggling internally with? You can look to your friends to see what they're struggling with. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's worry over siblings or children. It can be anything. If everyone around you is doing really well and you feel like you're struggling, maybe it's a time to reframe that and be grateful for what you do have, because it may just be a little bit of a perception shift that's needed rather than anything major as in a belief system. I feel like for a lot of you, you've got half and half. So you may find people are struggling, but you also may have people who are thriving as well. So if that's the case, look at the people who are thriving and look at what their belief systems are and how they are trekking through life. Then look at the people who are struggling and look at what their belief systems are like and where they're coming from their point of view, because then you're going to get this really good vantage point of what's being done that holds people in place and what's being done that allows people to move on. And no judgment around anyone around you. This is a place of observance. It's like you're a scientist and you're running observational studies of people around you. And it may not even be friends. It may be complete strangers. Maybe you go to the shopping centre and you overhear a conversation of someone around you that just kind of makes you stop and think, oh, that's an interesting perspective. And it could be positive or negative, whatever it happens to be. But if you're hearing it, there's a reason you're hearing it. I'm also seeing people scrolling. And I just want to say energetically, because we're all in the habit of scrolling and you go down a black hole with the scrolling, is if you're attracting a lot of posts or whatever they happen to be that are very negative, look at what the undercurrent of the energy is. And also they want us to know that what we are scrolling is leaching into us as well. So if you're finding that you're part of a group that has a lot of comments that are negative, come out of that group, okay? because usually they're complete strangers to us, but they're having an outlet for venting. So take note of what's being said and what the undercurrent is, but also remove yourself from it, because we can absorb that too as energetic beings. Some of you might like to watch nature as well, to see what nature is doing, because you may be, I'm seeing animals for some reason, but also plants and trees and flowers blooming, flowers dying, like that whole cycle that nature goes through during different months. They want you to be observant of that as well. Not just in people's gardens, but outside in absolute nature. So if there's some bushland or some forest near you, or the beach, for instance, where there's not many people around and you can get there regularly, try and do so. Oh, and they're telling me that's because it will help you with the cycle. So we're always in a cyclic nature. So things are beginning, they've got a middle, and then they've got an end, and then you start a new beginning and it has a middle and an end. And nature is very cyclic in its nature. Nature is very cyclic, so it just supports that process of where you are in a cycle. And for most of you, I feel like you're at an end of a cycle, and it just helps you get over that hurdle into the new cycle, where things feel fresh and new and wonderful. Okay, Crystal 1, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I will see you in my next video. Crystal 2, welcome to your reading. I'm just going to pick up your crystals so I can channel through it and ask the question of what lesson am I currently learning? Okay, I'm sensing hunger. You may literally be hungry and need to go and get something to eat, or there may be a hunger inside of you. And for most people, I feel that's what this is. You're hungry for something. And the lesson that you're learning is that hunger needs to be turned into a creative energy in some form or another. So let's say that you are hungry for a certain lifestyle in your life. What they're saying is the lesson you need to learn is nobody's going to give it to you. You have to go out and create it for yourself. So there is a part of manifestation that requires action. And you may be starting on the first step of a 10-step process to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And they're saying those actions then include you lifting up one of your feet and putting it on the step, and then using all the muscles to pull your other foot up to join the first foot on the step. There's a lot of actions in there. At the same time you're breathing, at the same time all your muscles are contracting. A lot of things are going on. They happen for us, luckily, subconsciously. Otherwise our head will be full of us walking around in our lives. But they're saying that it's a 10-step process from where you are now to where you want to be. So map it out like a 10-step process and then take action on it. So let's just say you don't want to work for your employer anymore. You want to go somewhere else or start your own business. So they're saying take 10 steps to get there. So it might be updating your CV, looking at what else is around. Or if it's a small business, getting a business plan started, investigating what you might like to do, and then using the 10 steps to get to that point. They're showing me people being really impatient, and a lot of that is the way we live our lives these days. We've got computers that do things instantly that used to take time in the past. We've got machines that do things instantly that used to take time in our past. So we're used to having things done instantly. And they're saying that the earth is a slow moving plane. And we forget that because in some ways things happen instantly for us. And that's where we will be going in the future as a species, but we're not there yet. So this is a plodding energy. And we tend to get impatient because we want things done instantly. Social media a lot of the time doesn't help with that. And I know that I look at people renovating a house and I think, gee, that looks good, because they've got it on fast forward and they can get it done so quickly. It might have taken them 3 days to paint a room, but what you're seeing is a 20-second clip of them painting the room. So they're saying, don't be in a hurry, enjoy the journey. If you're in too much of a hurry, you're going to miss steps, and then you'll have to go back, and it's going to prolong the process. So start at the beginning, map it out, and go there. I feel like you as a group definitely need a map, and you need guidelines. Perhaps you've got a lot of water signs in your chart where you need boundaries for yourself. So you need to say, and make them, they're telling me to make them realistic boundaries. So let's just say, let's set up this plan over a course of a year. And there's 10 steps within that year, rather than the course of a month. And if you get there earlier, great. But if you don't get there after a month, you're more likely to let go of whatever it is and to go back to where you were. So be realistic, map it out, put one foot in front of the other, and off you go. They're saying that this fortitude and determination and sticking to the goal is really going to benefit you long term in so many other ways than what you see as your primary goal. Let's say that this is, you want to lose weight, and often we're sold these, lose 10 kilos in 4 weeks, and we think, great, in 4 weeks I could be 10 kilos lighter. But in reality, it doesn't happen that way. And so people lose focus and they lose determination. What the universe is saying here, if you want to make any change in your life whatsoever, give yourself an annual plan. So let's say, whatever the date is today, you're going to give yourself a year to work on this and see what progress you make. And the lesson in it is appreciating the journey, not the final destination. And I'm feeling really happy in this energy when I'm talking about the journey. And I feel like it's going to be positive for you in so many ways. It builds you life skills or lessons that you can utilize in the future, either to help other people or to use towards another goal. It's almost like the journey that you are taking now is going to be utilized. Maybe you will even use it to inspire other people. Maybe you will use it to climb even higher than you ever expected. It is about transformation in some part though, and where you want to be. They're also telling me that sometimes if you want to be in a certain place, you do have to let go of certain things. And if we're talking about weight loss, for instance, it may be that you have to let go of your favourite pizza. It may be that you have to let go of having a beer on the weekends. Whatever it happens to be, and you will need some boundaries for yourself so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. It's a lovely energy though, because I'm feeling the journey and I'm feeling how life is opening up for you because of the journey to get there. And not only will other people be proud of you, you'll be proud of yourself. Wow, group 2, what a lovely message. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in my next video. Crystal 3, welcome to your reading. I'm just going to pick up your crystals so I can channel through it and ask the question, what lesson am I currently learning? Alright, you are currently learning to believe in yourself. I feel like there has been lots of outside circumstances that have challenged your belief in yourself. And sometimes you've listened to other people or other circumstances and you've gone down the wrong track. So you're now being redirected to a point where listen to your inner guidance. That's your lesson. Don't worry about what other people are saying, and believe me, there are a lot of people out there with a lot of different opinions. You could ask 10 people an opinion and they'll all give you something different. Listen to what your intuition is saying for you. Now, for those of you who don't easily connect with your intuition, this will come as you start trusting your inner guidance, if that makes sense. Let's just say you're someone who says, I don't have an intuition. Look, everyone does, but you may not recognize it as intuition. It's kind of like when you would normally go one way down the street and then suddenly you felt one day you had to go the other way. And I'm being drawn back to 9/11 when there's a lot of stories of people who for some reason couldn't go into work that day or were late for work that day and so weren't in the buildings when the plane struck. You might like to go and read some of those stories if it's not too distressing for you, because that was their intuition or their spiritual guidance taking them somewhere else or doing something. I think I recall there was one who had a blister and went to get Band-Aids, and so they were late for work. You know, it may be something really simple that, you know, has cropped up as something annoying, but trust it. If you're being drawn away from something because something annoying has cropped up, trust it. I'm hearing the term Vanguard. I don't really know what that means. Is that a brand or something? I don't know. Maybe it's to do with vans. Maybe it's to do with guards. I don't know. That may be a message for one person out there, but that's a bit random. So let's just move on from that. Oh, okay. So your spirit team are actually telling me that they are acting as your guides in a way that they put little thoughts into your head or little feelings into you in a way that it's actually your higher self connecting with them, where they're saying, okay, instead of walking this way today, we're going to walk that way. And it may be that you find $10 on the ground because you walked that different way, rather than the way that you were going to walk. So what this does when you start listening to your inner guidance is, yes, it gives you gifts. But the biggest gift it's going to give you is belief in yourself. You may have grown up with an overprotective parent who wanted the best for you, but also wanted to keep you very, very safe. And so you were constantly living with that thought of, oh, I would like to go and do that, but is it safe? So if you get the urge to go and do something, follow those urges. Now, of course, that is not including hurting anyone in any form or interfering with anyone else's life. But it's more about, this isn't coming from a place of fear, it's coming from a place of inner knowing. And you'll get to know your inner voice as time goes on. So that's your lesson, is getting to know your inner voice. Listening to your own guidance. Because other people's opinions are based on their experiences and don't necessarily predict your path at all. We're seeing that a lot these days with all of the new careers that are coming out in social media, for an example, also IT and technology. Things that, 20 years ago didn't even exist as a career. So this may be career-based, where you're being given a lot of advice on what to do for your career, and your inner guidance is, I need to do this for myself. But maybe there are people around you who are trying to influence otherwise because they don't feel that it's something you could survive doing, to make an income from. Whereas your inner guidance is saying, yes, I can and I will. So trust yourself, trust the process of life as well. Sometimes we are given dead ends to redirect us to something else. I feel for some of you, there's particularly a friend around you who, for some reason, doesn't have much faith in themselves. And so some of the comments they come out with are projecting their own fear in life, or their own self-doubt, or their own inadequacies. And up to this point it has had quite an impact on you, but maybe lately you've been feeling, I don't know that this is right, or I don't know that this is correct what they're saying. And you might have started to really question their point of view. And that's okay, because your inner guidance is telling you something different. And you need to explore that. Like, nobody has the answers to everything. I certainly don't. When it comes to my own path and what I'm doing in life, I have an inkling, but I don't always have all the answers mapped out in front of me. And that's part of being here on earth, is we don't always know where we're going or why we're doing it, but we do it anyway. That's trusting your intuition. And I will give you an example from my life. So a couple of years ago, I wanted to go back to my place of birth, and I hadn't been there since I was 7 years old. And I don't know why I wanted to go. And so I just took a leap of faith and I went. I more or less for 3 months stayed in the area, near the area where I was born and brought up for the first 7 years of my life. And I went through quite a big transformation. And then I happened to hear someone else say, it must have been on a YouTube video, and I apologize because I can't remember who it was that said it, but basically sometimes when we are going through a transformation, we need to go back to the place where we were conceived to assist that transformation. So that was my inner guidance pulling me there. So you may have had the urge to go somewhere else, for instance, or to explore something new, and everyone around you is saying, don't be crazy, you know, the cost of living there is high, or you don't be crazy, you know, how are you going to give up your job and earn an income there? Whatever it happens to be, I feel like for you as a group, you don't have to live within the norm, and it's better for you if you don't live within the norm, or you create a new norm. Because there are some real innovators here, but you need to listen to your inner guidance. Okay, group 3. That's all the universe has for you on what lesson you are learning. Believe in yourself and things will be bonny. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in my next video.